Hey guys, it's Nibzscape here and welcome to my Alchemical Hydra guide. Now this is just going to be your bog standard basic guide for noobs. I'm not going to be going over any of the fancy phase skipping techniques like how to skip the lightning phase or fire phase. This is purely to get your first couple Hydra kills. So why should we be doing the Hydra in the first place? Well, some notable drops is you get the Hydra leather, the Hydra claw, some absolutely massive high value items, and the normal drops are absolutely fantastic as well. You're going to be making a lot of money. I've made somewhere in the region of 600 plus mil just from Hydra myself. So the money is absolutely fantastic and well worth doing. So I'm going to quickly go over a couple notable things to know as well. It is not a safe death. If you die here, you will lose your hardcore Iron Man status, so obviously be careful with that. You can get your items back. You have to pay 100k at the entrance to the Hydra, and you can obviously collect all of your items from there. So first things first, let's go over the requirements. So the only actual requirement you need to do the Alchemical Hydra is 95 Slayer, which is very high and very hard to get. I'm under no illusion that it's a hell of a challenge getting to 95 Slayer, but you will make a lot of money getting up to 95, and you also are going to make an insane amount of money from Hydra. Now, the only other thing you definitely need is to actually have Hydras on task. You cannot kill the Alchemical Hydra without any Hydras on the task, and you get them from the actual Slayer Master in Mount Karom, and that is Konar. Now, for the recommended stats, I'd highly recommend 80 plus range to really do this successfully. Any less than that and you're going to struggle a little bit, but by the time you've got 95 Slayer, you should have 80 plus range anyway. Now, it's also worth pointing out that in the Karom dungeon, you do actually need to wear boots of stone to protect you from the heat. Unless you have the Elite Karen Diary completed, then you can wear any sorts of boots. It's also worth having access to fairy rings. That's going to help you get there. If not, having the Elite Diary again will help, because the Rada's Blessing gives you an instant teleport just outside the dungeon. So that wraps up the requirements. Now it's time to move on to the location. Now for the location, we have to make our way to the Karom dungeon, and to find that, we have to go to Mount Karom. Now there's a couple ways to get there. One of them being the CIR Fairy Ring Teleport. With this and a couple agility levels, you can actually make your way up the 29 agility rock and then the 62 agility rock, and that will make your way all the way to the top. Now there is another one. You could use the Skills Necklace Farming Guild teleport, which will teleport you just outside the Farming Guild, and then with that you can then run all the way up. Or the best teleport is the Rada's Blessing. So I'm going to do a quick run through now. So we're going to use the Fairy Ring, and then we're going to go for CIR. And then from here, you're just going to want to go a little bit north up until you see the agility there. We're going to climb up them rocks. This one only requires 29 agility, only sort of skips this little bit here. If you haven't got 62 agility, you can run all the way around there, but I have 62 agility, so we're going to be able to make our way up to the top here. Once we're at the top, we're going to want to make our way to this elevator here, activate the controls, and then we're going to go down into the dungeon. Now from here, you're going to want to go all the way north into this north one here. If you have 88 agility, you can use this agility shortcut here, and this will skip past all the Hydras, and it means you're not going to take any damage. Now, once you go past this area here, if you haven't done the Elite Diaries, you're going to need to have the Boots of Stone equipped, or any of the Guardian boots and that sort of boots that protect you from this high heat. Now, when you go across here, you're going to want to get your prayers ready, because you're going to want to pray against these Hydras. Now, I'm going to pray range. If you see it hit you with a magic attack, like it hasn't there, so it should be all good. One range hit. Now I can turn my prayers off. Now, if you die, this is where you can collect your stuff for 100k. You just collect it from this bloke here. Now you just want to make your way over these rocks, and this is where you're going to find the boss. So for the gear setup you're going to want to be going for is the very best range attacking gear you have. So obviously I've got Armadillo here, but you can downgrade it to Blessed D'hide or even Black D'hide if you need to. Now obviously if you haven't completed the Karen Elite Diaries, you're also going to need to wear Boots of Stone. If you do have the diaries done, then the best in slot range attack bonus boots like Pegasian boots or even Blessed D'hide boots are going to do very well here. As we also have Hydras on task, We're also going to be wanting to use the Slayer helmet, and that is a definite must because it gives you a massive damage increase. So weapon wise, the best in slot is the twisted bow with amethyst arrows or better. The next best is the Feridahine, I think that's how you say it, bow. It's the new crystal bow which you use the enhanced crystal seed on. With this you're also going to be needing to use the crystal armor set. Now the next best is the Dragon Hunter crossbow, and you're going to want to be using Dragon Ruby bolts enchanted and Dragon Diamond bolts enchanted, and this is very good DPS. And then finally, and probably the last one I would use, is the Toxic Blowpipe, but this does cost a lot to run, and you're going to want to be using amethyst darts and better for this. So for the inventory setup, what you want to bring with you is a couple ranging potions or divine ranging potions, obviously to keep that high DPS. I recommend starting off with 6 super restores. Obviously when you get better you can start taking less or more if you want to extend your trips. You definitely want to make sure you have an antidote plus. This is to avoid any acid damage in his acid phase and his final phase. Food wise, I recommend sharks or better. Rune wise, I usually bring myself some runes to cast home teleport, so I bring some lore runes, fire runes and dust runes. Also bringing nature runes then allows you to do some high alchemy. He does drop a lot of alcheballs, so it's definitely worth bringing that. It's also worth bringing either the Rada's Blessing or a Draymond Staff, depending on how you're going to be getting there in the first place. So now we're going to actually go over the mechanics of the boss. So the boss has 4 different phases. He has the acid phase with 5 heads, the electric phase with 4 heads, and the fire phase with 3 heads. Once he goes down to 2 heads, he then enters the Jad phase. Each phase has its own specific attack, which we'll go over in a little second. What is worth noting is he does attack you through the first 3 phases, alternating between range and magic. The range attacks look and sound like this. The magic attacks look and sound like this. As of entering the room, he will attack you at random with either range or mage. You just have to pray accordingly. After 3 attacks, he will then have an animation which looks and sounds like this. After this point, you just need to change your prayer correctly to avoid any damage. When he gets to the 2-headed Jad phase, this is when his attack style changes for his standard attacks. Instead of hitting every 3, he now changes his attack style every hit. So it depends on whatever the flame phase hit you with last. So for example, if the flame phase hit you last with range, it will be the opposite of that. So it will be magic, and then you have to change your prayers after every single attack. So it will go magic, then to range, and then back to magic, and then back to range, and then so forth. And you just have to pray accordingly, making sure you pray opposite to what he last hit you with. There's a good example of this obviously in the full walkthroughs that I do at the end of this video. So I'm now going to go over the individual phases. Each phase has immunity. Now to get rid of this immunity you have to drag them to a specific tile. I'm going to go over this more in my walkthrough of the fight because it's more easy to explain. I have some set marked out tiles that if you run to them it's going to automatically do this, so I'm not going to worry about that here. However, I am going to talk about the phase specific attacks here. So the way these work is after 3 standard attacks he will then hit you with a phase special. After this he'll hit you with another 9 standard attacks and then once again with another phase special. Now the phase specials are as follows. So for the 5-headed acid phase he will do a acid spit. Now to get away from this you just need to run. Now with the 4-headed electric phase, what he hits you with here is 4 lightnings that basically follow you. All you have to do for this is once again run to avoid them. If you run in a specific way, which I'll go over a little bit more in my walkthrough later on, you can easily avoid these without getting hit. If you do get hit, they will stun you and you'll take some serious damage. And for the fire phase, he moves to the center of the room and creates 2 walls of fire, and then you have to walk away from a fire that follows you. Once again, I'll go over this a little bit better in the walkthrough. And then for the Jad phase, he switches back to the acid. After 3 attacks, he will then spray acid. All you have to do is run away from that. But as I said, I go over this a lot more better in the actual walkthrough, and it's going to be a little bit more easier to explain and see how it goes in that. Now, there are some very good tiles to mark. If you're using Rune Knight, I highly recommend marking these tiles, and it's going to make it very, very easy to actually kill Hydra. Now, I've got this tile here marked as number 1. This is where you're going to be starting. You're then going to make your way to 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally number 6. And now we're going to go over the walkthrough, and I'll show you exactly how we use all these tiles to our advantage. So we are going to do a full run through of the boss fight. It's a pretty easy boss fight. It's a lot of counting and making sure you don't make any stupid mistakes. But overall, it's very, very easy, and we can't really go wrong too much. So before we go in, you're going to want to sip your ranging potion, and then you want to get your prayers ready. You either want to pray mage or range. It doesn't really matter which one, because it's pretty random what he attacks you with first. If you get it wrong, you just want to quickly change to the other prayer. So we're going to pray range, and he's hitting us with mage. So we're going to switch to mage and make our way to tile 1. That's 2 attacks. After the 3rd attack, we're going to want to switch our prayer, and he's going to do his special phase ability, which is acid on this phase. So we just want to run. And then we're going to make our way slowly to tile number 2, getting ready to change our prayer. This should be the 3rd one there. Switch to mage and make our way to tile number 2. Third attack, he's going to change. We're going to switch to range like so, and then carry on attacking. There we go. Now we're going to want to make our way to tile number 3 because he's changed. And there we go. He's switched to mage. One more attack. And that's the 3 first attacks from him. Now he's going to do his special attack, which is the lightning. What we want to do is make sure there's 2 lightnings on our side. And then we're going to make our way all the way up here. Making sure you change your prayers correctly as well. I make my way behind tile number 4. And then make my way on it. And then I always avoid it. I never get hit by the lightning. Switch prayers, making sure that always keep an eye on him, because he will give a giveaway. He switched, so now we want to move to tile number 5. He's going to do 3 attacks, and then he's going to do his flame wall special ability. Switch to range, like so. And now after those 3 attacks, we're going to want to make our way to tile number 6 and turn your run energy off. And now you're going to want to get as many hits on him as possible. As soon as both walls come up like that, you're going to want to start walking up here. And then when you get to about here, you want to put your prayer back on. So we're going to be praying range for this bit. When the fire stops, you can start attacking him again. He's switched to mage, so we're going to switch to mage. And now I'm going to put my run energy back on, ready to run for the final phase. Now he's switching to the Jad phase. You're going to want to pray the opposite thing he hit you with last. Like so, and then you're going to want to switch like this, and then after the 3rd attack, he's going to do his special attack, which is another acid, which you just have to run from. And then it's just a case of switching your prayers. Now it's going to go after 9 attacks, he's going to do his acid phase again. You might be able to kill him before that. If not, just keep a little eye out. As soon as you see the acid phase happening, you're going to want to run. So the acid phase should happen now, after this one here. So we're going to run. Make sure you switch your prayers as well. And then this should be the kill ending now. And it's as easy as that. It honestly is not that hard a boss. It will take a couple attempts to get it down. But he also drops a lot of supplies as well, like this. So we should be able to get another kill in. Which I'm going to do now. I'm going to go through another run through, because it's not exactly that long. So when you do your second kill, what you want to do is make your way and start on tile number 1. This will be a slightly faster kill, because you're going to be able to pull him onto that tile faster. Pray, again, same as we would any attack. We got lucky this one. He's hitting us with range. So we're just going to stick with that. After the 3rd attack, like so, we're going to switch to mage. And then we're going to run up here to dodge the acid. And then we're going to make our way towards tile number 2. And then after his 3rd attack, we want to switch to range. He's already lost his head, so we're going to move to tile number 3. 1 hit. 2 hits. Make sure you sip your prayer potions and stuff. Alright, he's changed, and this will be the lightning. So once again, we wait until there's 2 lightnings on our side, and then we're going to want to run up behind tile number 4, and then back on the tile number 4. Sometimes you might get dragged in, especially if you're using the blowpipe. So keep an eye on that, and make sure you keep clicking to get as far over to here as possible. I'm going to put on my rigger, because I don't want to hit another lightning phase, because it's going to be hard to get away from. And there we go, that is the head lost. He's also going to switch to range. And now we're going to go to tile number 5. After 3 hits, 2, 3, we're going to switch to mage. Remember, it's on mage. I can switch it off here, and we're moving to tile number 6. Wait for 1 firewall. Wait for the second one, and then we're going to want to start walking up the edge. Make sure you put your prayer back on. I think it was range. I might have got confused there. No, it was mage. Alright, so we took a big hit there. But there we go. The fire has stopped, and we can carry on hitting him again. Alright, he's switching to range. I'm going to eat up just in case. Go back to attacking him. And then we're going to switch to the opposite thing he hit me with. So he hit me with range last, so we're going to go back to mage. Range. Mage, put my run energy back on because we're going to have to run now from his acid. Put the other prayer on. Mage. It's pretty easy. You can't really go too far wrong. Then after 9 attacks here, he's going to do another acid phase. I'm not counting the attacks here, so I'm just going to get hit with it randomly. But, should be okay. We should be able to run easy enough. Should be coming in any second now, I think. Next attack should be it. There we go. Keep switching every other attack. And he should be dead any second now. There we go. Big XP drop. And claw. Hydra claw. End it on. That'd be nice. Sharks. Clue scroll. Oh, I got a clue scroll as well. That's quite cool. But yeah, there we go. That is pretty much it. Super, super easy boss. Can't really go wrong, to be honest. So there we go. That is my Hydra guide. I hope it helped you guys out. If I forgot anything or you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll answer it when I've got time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel out massively. And once again, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.